Good morning, students. Today we are going to start and understand our fourth chapter, The Landscape of the Soul, written by Natalie Troveroy. In this particular chapter, if we talk about the title, Landscape of the Soul, it suggests that all animals live at physical level, but man lives a dual life both at physical and spiritual level. So the title highlights the inner divine beauty of man's all that looks beyond the cosmos, that looks beyond the things that are which are present. So we can say that it is um, quite an appropriate chapter title being given to this chapter. How actually this chapter tells about the different art forms, different type of landscape made by different painters of different country, and it is justified on different parts. From the beginning to the end of the chapter, different type of landscape, different type of art forms are being discussed in this chapter. So it is justified that it is all about the landscape of the soul. It is all about how we perceive any landscape, any painting being created by, being made by any artist. I suppose the title is clear to all of you. Now, if we talk about the theme of the chapter, the landscape of the soul, the author here represents two instances of paintings to show the beauty and difference in the perception of painters. As the story proceeds, it conveys that the emperor may rule within the kingdom, but artist is the only one who knows his painting. Actually, if we talk about the story, in this story, the writer contrasts Chinese art with European art by recounting two stories about Chinese art and one story about European art. What he tries to say that the European wants a perfect likeness, whereas in Asia, art is the essence of life and spirit. Chinese art requires the active participation of the viewer, both physically and mentally, to understand it. Basically, if I tell you, students, the story, if I tell you about the theme of this chapter, the story tells and present before us different art form as well as the perception which is required to understand that art. I suppose the theme and title is clear to all of you. Now start with the chapter. There are certain stories to justify every viewpoint given by the author Natalie Troveroy. Let's start the chapter. A wonderful old tale is told about the painter Wu Daozi, who lived in the 8th century. His last painting was a landscape commissioned by the Tang Emperor Zhuangzong to decorate a palace wall. The master had hidden his work behind a screen, so when the only the emperor would see it. For a long while the emperor admired the wonderful scene, discovering forests, high mountains, waterfalls, clouds floating in an immense sky, men or on hilly paths, Birds in flight look sad above, said the painter. In this cave at the foot of the mountain dwells a spirit. The painter clapped his hands, and the entrance to the cave opened. The inside is splendid beyond anything words can convey. Please let me show your majesty the way. The painter entered the cave, but the entrance closed behind him, and before the astonished emperor could move or utter a word, the painting had vanished from the wall. Not a trace of Wu Daozi's brush was left, and the artist was never seen again in this world. Yes, beta. In this chapter, in this very beginning of the chapter, a wonderful old tale all of you know means story, is told about the painter Wu Daozi. Basically, this story is related to a painter whose name was Wu Daozi. He was a Chinese painter who lived in the 8th century. This is the story of Wu Daozi who lived in 8th century, and his last painting was a landscape. The last painting he made was a landscape. Landscape is painting of a countryside or rural scenery. Landscape commissioned means ordered specially by Tang Emperor Xuanzong. Actually, what happened? Wu Daozi was hired by a Tang emperor. The emperor's name was Xuanzong. He hired the painter Wu Daozi to paint, to decorate a palace wall. Palace means king's area, the जो हम कहते हैं कि राजा का महल, palace wall. The master had hidden his work behind a screen. After painting, Wu Daozi hid his work behind a screen, so only the emperor would see it. Means it was not possible for everyone to look at the painting as it was hidden behind the screen. For a long while, when the emperor looked at the painting, for a long while he admired the wonderful scenes. He kept looking, he admired discovering forests. He admired that forests were painted nicely, high mountains, waterfalls, clouds floating in an immense sky, men on hilly paths. He admired all these things. It means he only admired the things which the painter had made. When he found that the king could not notice the real soul of his painting, he started explaining to the king. In this cave at the foot of the mountain dwells matlab lives, dwells means resides or stays. At the foot of that painting there was a cave which was situated at the foot of the mountain, and in that cave lived a spirit. Thereafter, stating this, the painter clapped his hands, and when he clapped, the entrance to the cave opened. The inside is splendid. Your Majesty, the inside is splendid, and the painter entered the cave. Please let me show your majesty the way. Spirit means supernatural being. Your Majesty is a respectful word for saying you to a king. But the painter told the king that he would show him the way leading to the cave. He clapped his hand, the entrance to the cave opened, and he entered the way leading to the cave. But the moment painter entered into the cave, the entrance closed behind him, and before the astonishment surprised emperor could move or utter a word, the painting had vanished from the wall. Not a trace of Wu Daozi's brush was left, and the artist was never seen again in this world. Not a trace means nothing noticeable, nothing related to Wu Daozi, nothing or no work related to Wu Daozi would be seen after that painting. This is what the story tells. Basically, a story may it is related to Chinese painting. It is stated that the viewpoint with which the painter had made the painting, the emperor could not perceive that. And the painter showed the way to the emperor, and thereafter he left that place. Such stories play an important part in Chinese classical education. These stories help the master to guide their students in the right direction. It is stated that such type of stories are quite important. They play quite important role in Chinese classical education, and these help the master to guide their students in the right direction, that you should perceive the things in that way, you should consider the things in that way, the way we are guiding you. Yes, beta. The books of Confucius and Zhuangzi are full of them. These type of anecdote, they help the master to guide his disciples. Disciples means followers of a teacher, or by students. These type of stories are the part in classical education system of China. Means such type of stories are told while making the things clear to the students. The books of Confucius and Zhuangzi, so such authors are full of such type of stories, and they help the master to guide his disciple, to guide his follower in the right direction. Beyond the anecdotes, they are deeply revealing of the spirit in which art was considered. Such type of anecdotes, beyond the anecdotes means short stories with moral lesson. They are deeply revealing of the spirit in which art are considered. Such type of stories quite clearly reveal how art forms are considered. Contrast to this story or another famous one about a painter who wouldn't draw the eye of a dragon he had painted for fear it would fly out of the painting, with an old story from my native Flanders that I find most representative of Western painting. And if we talk about the the another painting which the author is going to describe is quite contrasting. It is completely opposite to the story which has been just told. Contrast to this story, there is another famous story of a painter. The painter who draw a dragon, but he did not or he could not dare to paint the eye of the dragon, fearing that it would fly out of the painting. Means the painting appeared so real that even the painter himself feared drawing the eye of the dragon. with an old story from my native Flanders that I find most representative of Western painting. And this is the story which is related to Western painting. This is a story which represents Western painting. Actually, students, the author, Nathalie, wants to represent before us that there are different type of art forms. Some may take you to the depth of that landscape or that painting, and some paintings would appear so real that you will find that, or you will feel that the thing is actually there. Let's come to the third para. In 15th century Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quentin Metzi fell in love with the painter's daughter. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession, so Quentin sneaked into the painter's studio. Sneaked means entered secretly into the painter's studio and painted a fly on his latest panel. In 15th century Antwerp, here he was a blacksmith at that time called Quentin Metzi. He fell in this master blacksmith was called Quentin Metzi. He fell in love with the painter's daughter. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession, as Quentin Metzi fell in love with painter's daughter, and he feared that the father of his beloved would not accept him in such a profession, as he was a blacksmith. So Quentin sneaked into the painter's studio and painted a fly on his latest panel. So he very secretly went to painter's studio, means the father's studio whose daughter he loved, to his beloved father's studio. He went there and painted a fly on his latest panel. On the latest panel of his painting, he made a fly with such a delicate realism, with such a real touch, that the master tried to sweat it away. Sweat it away means fly it away from before he realized that what had happened. Means the painting which Quentin Metzi made. He made a painting of fly, and that fly appeared so real that the master tried to fly it, sweat it away. After that, he realized that it was not real. Quentin was immediately admitted as an apprentice, means follower, or person who wants to learn some skill, into his studio. He married his beloved and went on to become one of the most famous painters of his age. Quentin was immediately admitted as an apprentice into his studio. Means thereafter, Quentin became the disciple, the person who started learning skill from that painter, and as he became a good painter, he later married his beloved and went on to become one of the most famous painters of his age, Quentin Metzi. He later on, by getting some guidance from the master, became one of the famous painters of his age. These two stories illustrate, means explains what each form of art is trying to achieve. A perfect illusionistic likeness in Europe, and essence of inner life and spirit in Asia. These two stories, students, ये जो दो स्टोरीज हैं, these two stories represent what these two type of art forms are trying to present before us. If we talk about European painting, they are trying to achieve perfect illusionistic likeness. Illusion is that something which is not actually there, but we feel the thing is there. Illusion, भ्रम जिसे कहते हैं, which is not real. Likeness, illusionistic likeness means European painters make painting which give the illusion, which make you feel that the thing is real. Means European painters emphasize on making the things which appear to be real. The paintings, the things which appear that they are actually there, the essence of inner life and spirit in Asia. And these, if we talk about Asian painting, they believe in understanding, they believe in making the things clear to the um, viewer what the painter has tried to represent through his painting. That's all for today, students. I suppose the things are clear to all of you.